over 60 different goat breeds in the world. This is a boar goat. Goats are fun and friendly animals. They make nice pets too. They are great 4-H projects. But did you know there is an entire industry devoted to the production and perfection of the boar goat?
Today I'm at Pitlick Boar Goat Farms and I'm here with Nick Pitlick and we're going to talk about boar goats. Where are you at in your career?
Yeah, so I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Minnesota. I live in the St. Paul campus. Over there pursuing animal science, pre-vet track, so I'm currently in physiology and ruminant nutrition, so I'm learning everything there is to know about ruminants and how everything's digested. I'm just having a great time up at the University of Minnesota.
There are two different areas where your career can be focused. The first is production. Production of boar goats is raising the animals for sale of meat. Goat production has increased by 1/3 in the past decade because of the growing demand. Meat goats, like the boar goat, make up 80% of the total goats in the United States. To raise goats, you need a small plot of land, shelter for your animals, and the right kinds of feed. You can raise about 5 to 6 goats on the same amount of land that it takes to raise one cow.
I started in the boar goat industry back in '08. Had a couple bred does. I really liked the goat aspect, the small animal, easy to handle aspect. My grandpa raised sheep, so he kind of got me started, but with the goats. So yeah, just some things that we've seen, being involved with veterinary school. I'm at the University of Minnesota, so I'm an animal science pre-vet right now, so I'm on track to be a veterinarian someday. I just got accepted into vet school at the U. I got accepted in a program called Vet Fast, which allows early entrance into vet school, so I'm really excited about the future and what the future has to offer.
One huge advance in technology is embryo transfer. Embryo transfer makes it possible to increase the production of offspring from a superior female. Selected females are induced to cause superovulation, which means they produce a lot of eggs. They are inseminated at just the right time, and then week-old embryos are flushed out of the goat's uterus, isolated, and examined under a microscope, and then inserted into the lining of a surrogate goat's uterus to carry until birth. That's amazing. Embryo transfer increases reproductive rates of selected females. In one article about assisted reproductive technologies, it suggested that with an average of 10 embryos per donor and 70% of successful live births, a producer could easily have 50 superior kids in a season using 8 does and 1 buck.
And if someone wanted to be successful, what kind of education would they need?
Yeah, so a little bit about me, how I came through. I'm from Jordan, Minnesota, 45 minutes south of the Twin Cities here. And we didn't really have an ag program or agriculture classes. So I wasn't really able to be exposed to that in the high school sense, but that's where 4-H and FFA were a big part in shaping me and educating me on just animals and then, responsibilities, and it really shaped me into the man I am today. And so I would not worry about, animal science classes if they're not offered at your high school. That's not a big deal, because if you're animal science, like at the University of Minnesota, South Dakota State, NDSU, they have animal science classes where you learn everything there is to know about how to be successful in the livestock industry.